Welcome to the Church of Thomas. Real value, 7309. All things in our economies, all over the world, are regulated by the idea of supply and demand. If there's only one apple left and 18 people want it, the price goes up. If there's 9,000 apples and only 4 people who want it, the price really comes down. I think that is a very simple idea. My dad, who taught economics, said that a lot of people couldn't grasp that. I hope the analogy I just gave makes it very simple. There are people who have manipulated the idea of supply and demand to the point where they're gouging. And Jesus spoke out about gouging, the idea of using your power to inflate the price, to corner the market on something when the value should have been much lower, and creating hardships because you are charging a much higher price. Now, one example of this is diamonds. Diamonds are really hard substances, and they're really great for things like sharpening metal. They're very good at drilling holes in the ground through rock. They are excellent for a lot of scientific purposes, like focusing light in different ways that they need it to be focused. But there is another thing that it is used for that is an artificial construct. It has no value except for the value that was built up in it. Do y'all remember the pet rocks back, I guess it was in the 70s? You had this little rock, and it had eyes painted on it, and a nose painted on it, and maybe a little mustache, and a little mouth, and you would carry it around or put it on and you would have a pet. It was a rock, but it was a pet. This was a construct, an artificial marketing ploy that made this rock valuable. It created a demand for something that basically you could find in your own backyard, spend $2 for, paint on a mouth and a nose and an eyes, and you would have a pet rock from the store. But they were selling them for $10, $15. Well, bless their hearts, they found a way to market something that basically had no intrinsic value. It was an idea that they were marketing. Well, diamonds sold for adornment and jewelry and status symbols are all artificial constructs. The demand stays level pretty much. It doesn't really go up unless they market it, unless they push the product. The funny part is that they do the flip side of this as well, the supply part. When a lot of people start producing diamonds and maybe there's a little bit of a slump in diamond sales, so the stockpiles start getting higher. Now, if this were a normal kind of market, they would be selling at bargain prices because there wasn't enough demand for the supply that was on hand. Well, what they did, the people who market diamonds, is they'd scoop off the top until it got down to where they wanted the price to be. It's called market fixing. That has happened in the gas industry as well. Now, the gas companies have spent a lot of money going and looking for oil and gas, but there has been manipulation of the market. This isn't something that, like a diamond, you can go, well, that's kind of silly. I'm not paying $8,000 for a rock. This is something that we need for our economies all over the world to function. This is manipulating the economy of the world. By fixing a price that is artificially high, and it's creeping up again. You know why it's creeping up? Because they have cut production. They've decided they're not getting enough for their fuel. So even though we're in the middle of a huge recession where rising shipping costs, etc., going up would be a bad thing, they're still doing it. Before the recession became apparent to everyone, there was a speculation on the futures market of crude oil and gasoline that drove the price a lot higher than its normal level would have been, because they all wanted to get in on the greediness, on the action. When you speculate on things that are basic necessities, you're gouging. You are manipulating the market, and it is wrong. I think that the only way that we can control this kind of thinking is to boycott them. If your local gas station starts inching up on price, go in and let them know that you're going to be shopping the hardest you can for gasoline that is less expensive than where you normally go, that they're going to be losing their market share if they raise the price, period. The other way of doing it is to find other ways of getting to work, whether it's mass transit, hitching a ride with somebody in a carpool, walking. Some people only live 8 or 10 blocks from where they work. Even 20 blocks isn't that unusual. You can still do it, and you'll be healthier for it too. Bikes are a possibility, assuming that your city has bike lanes. Otherwise, please be careful and wear your helmet. But then we could also look into the idea of alternative energies. If the gas companies think that they're too big to be taken down, let's show them they're wrong. Because frankly, they don't deserve our market share. God bless the whole world, no exceptions. Angel Eliza.